Actually, on a Saturday evening, I've had a couple of very, very crazy days, and Cathy had a very interesting day yesterday, so we haven't had a couple of accountability calls on Thursday and Friday, which again is part of the course. These things happen every now and again. But what do? We just make up for it. So we call on Saturday and we make up for the Thursday and Friday and just do it. You know, sometimes people think, oh, I missed a couple of days. There's no point in carrying on for the rest of the week. No, you just pick up where you left off, and it's, you know, and we crack on. But let's bring Cathy on the line. I know she's had a couple of very interesting days. I know yesterday she actually advised me not to call for the accountability. She wasn't feeling too happy. So I thought, you know what? As a guy who's been married most of my life, well, I understand that if girls aren't feeling too good, sometimes we need to just leave them be. And so that's what we did last night. But here we go. We've got Thursday and Friday night to catch up on. Senior consultant Cathy Coward, are you there, my lovely?
I am here. I'm
all right. So
sitting here enjoying my garden. So.
Oh, you're sitting outside?
Yes, I am. I'm sitting outside enjoying my garden. So I would say my yard for those of us here in Texas, but my garden.
Yeah, no. But yeah, if you're English, if you're going out in your garden, that's everything that's on your land. It's not your house. Everything is the garden. The
yes,
yard
sir.
sounds like it'd be a concreted area or something. But I'm actually in my friend Javier Heredia's restaurant here in Dallas. Social Pie. It's a pizza place on Maple Avenue. Really, really great food here. And I'm sitting hanging out with Javier. We've just been talking to business and catching up and stuff. But again, you know, we have to do the accountability call. So I got my laptop out, hit the record button, and I'm able to do an accountability call from the restaurant. You're out in your garden. So there's no excuses not to get the accountability calls done, and there's no reason why we can't sit and enjoy them. So I'm sitting here with a nice glass of soda water, and you're in your garden with whatever you're doing, and here we are. So let's hear all about what's been going on Thursday and Friday.
Okay, well, you know, my police officer, Gary, I spoke with him. He was going to have dinner, and then he picked up a shift that night, and I haven't been able to get back in touch with him. I've only left him one message because I know that he's back on duty, and he won't be off duty until Wednesday. So I'm just leaving it. He's doing overnights right now. He's working overnight. So I'm kind of leaving it until next week. Because we are friends. We are neighbors. We play word games together. I mean, he's not going anywhere. So I just, I kind of backed off a little bit.
Yeah, and that's fine. You just put him on your carryover for next week. It'll be one of your calls for next week. So.
And do you remember I had the one that I spoke to you about that I was like, okay, I've left 4 messages. Hasn't gotten in touch with me, you know. Then I just got a text message that says not available. Because I'd left a message asking if him and his wife were available. On Friday, I just got a message that said not available. So I thought, well, okay, put him on a 6-month, go back and... Well, I got a call while I was doing my taxes. I sat and played with numbers on Friday. I sat and did my taxes because they're due today, so I figured I might as well get started yesterday. And I was working on that, and I just got a call. He says, hey, I just looked at my phone. I didn't send you that text. My wife did. He goes, meet me right now. Can you meet me right here? I'm pulling up at, you know, a local restaurant here in town. Oh, it's Scooter. That's my husband. So his name is William Manning Coward III, but we call him Scooter. And we went and met with him. And he said, hey, I'll absolutely be your customer. I said, no, Todd, that's not I wanted to talk to you about. And he quickly got into they've got a lot of stuff going on with their kids. They're having some domestic problems and possibly splitting up. So I dropped it. Said, well, we're going to, you know, he says, oh, absolutely. And actually my husband kind of took over and just dripped a little bit and said, hey, Will, you know, we haven't caught up with him in 6 months or so. And we had a really nice conversation and just said, okay, well, we're going to get together next week. Let him handle the weekend. He's going to be at home. And they're just having some domestic problems. So it was like, okay, not now. Not a good time.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes people need their space. And, again, the one thing we talk about on these purge calls is just being patient. You know, the right people are worth it. Just take your time. There's no hurry. So good for you. That's exactly what I would have done.
But it was, the contact is made. We're back in touch. So, you know, and he knows the intent. And so,
right.
yeah. So I'm just, I'll catch up with him next week. My pastor that I was going to meet with this morning is Barry, and he texted me late last night. He's a pastor. They're doing all this. He's going to be working at the church, and can we just reschedule for next week? So absolutely, it's Easter weekend. That was no problem, but he's really interested. So at this point, I'm feeling a little beat down, and I had one person that was on my list. I really didn't even. It's a friend of my sister's. I think I got frustrated enough that I honestly didn't care if she joined the business or not when I called her. I love her to death. And I just said, hey, I don't know. Maybe I had to reach that point. So I was like, hey, Cheryl, thanks for calling me back. Just your name came up in conversation the other day, and this may or may not be for you, but you know what Scooter and I have been going through, and just somewhere along the way we found this great thing that is changing our life. I'm an ambient energy consultant. And I said, are you available this weekend? I said, would you like to get together on Saturday? Because I was kind of thinking today would be my best day. She said, oh, well, her kids, Braden and Lex, are coming into town, and they're bringing the baby and helping them around the house. So she says, but Monday, I get back into town about 6:30. She says, you have anything going on Monday? I said, not a thing, honey. And she actually works just a few blocks from where the Tuesday night meeting is in Fort Worth with Darren and I'm sorry, I'm sitting outside for this car going by with Darren and Paul Jenkins. They do a meeting that's just a few blocks from where she works. So we meet with her on Monday night and hopefully follow up with her on Tuesday. It'd be nice to get her to a business presentation and get my sister back up there. My sister came on way early, but it's a friend of hers. Tisa was the lady that I had that we chaperoned an event together for the school, and I think I told you she was, I drove everyone up there and drove back. We had a meeting on Thursday, and she was a little late. It ran late. She's very interested in doing the business. Darren called and talked with her. And she's very interested in doing it. She had a big deposit to switch her own, and it's kind of a money thing. So she sent me a few bills that she's waiting to make sure that she can get the money back. So that's fine.
Okay.
All
right.
And then remember the beauty salon lady, the one that owns the beauty salon that just stopped me as I walked in. She's already sent me 2 customers. So she is actively, sending me, she's having people call me. She's already sent me 2 people. One of them's in contact.
And they signed up?
No, both of them have contracts. One of them's like another year. One of them is about, I think maybe in about 2 weeks, she'll be at the 60-day mark.
Right.
So that's where it is. Now, this next coming week, I've already made my list, but I'm going to Power Trip, so I'm making a short list for next week because I plan on being at Power Trip. So which ones do we want to touch on? That's what we missed for the last couple of days. But
well, here's what we need to do, and we'll talk more about this on Sunday, but we need to make sure that you're able to carry on the same level of activity next week. So we need to make sure you've got an accountability partner who's going to take your call every day and coach you through the week the same way as I have done this last week. And those of you who are listening into this recording, make sure you do the same thing. It's way too easy to go, I've done my week, I've been busy this week, and now slack off. Don't do that. It's not like it's some crazy amount of work that we're doing. This is just a regular, steady, weekly amount of work. We need to find our 3 that we can plug into the same system, have them do the same, because that's where the duplicating 3 down to 7 levels and the $11,000, that's where that sits in consistent and persistent effort week after week. And so I need you to make sure, Cathy, that you carry the same work level next week, and make sure I think Darren's your accountability partner, right?
Oh yes. Me, Darren, and I speak just almost daily, and kind of plan our day and find out when he's going to be available. So I know when to talk to people. But I will say this week has gotten me a little bit out of my, not a little bit, a lot out of my comfort zone. And I know I think I texted you, I was going to kind of touch on it. A year ago, you couldn't have told me that I would even hardly leave my house, much less be comfortable with talking to people. But I'll tell you, for anybody that deals with that, I don't know how to talk to people, just do it. Just do it. Because I'm telling you, the second call was easier, the third call was easier. By Thursday when I'm calling Cheryl, it was actually genuine that I'm like, hey, this may or may not be for you. And it was actually, it had become genuine. You know, even though I was a little panicky, and I'm like, no, you have to join or I'm going to fail.
No.
Is how it started.
Cathy, it should be genuine. I mean, it really, really should be genuine. When you say it may or may not be for you, that's not a ploy. I'm totally genuine. So,
well, I know, but it's like a switch flipped in me. And it was probably about Thursday. A switch flipped in me. So I was like, wait a minute. This is true. Because if it's not for you, hey, you might know somebody else. And she's got two kids that are young children. Oh, not young children. They're young adults. One's 20, one's 24. She's got a new baby, and you know she wants to work, but you know they're a very successful, beautiful, wonderful family. And I was like, well, you know what? This is wonderful. And she said, well, I'm also going to talk to Lex about that. And she's done other network marketing. She's done really well with the weight loss program, and she was very open. I was very surprised because what I told you earlier in the week, my fear was how to reach out to someone I hadn't talked to in a long time and just go, you know, but it didn't feel weird. It didn't feel weird at that point. At that point, the first couple of days was hard. But now I'm approaching everyone a little bit differently.
Well, the thing is to follow up with what you're saying about, you know, about not being able to leave the house and this sort of thing. It's all very well to say, well, just do it because, you know, you'll find the second call's easier than the first and this sort of thing. But I want to kind of, let's shallow that gradient a little bit, you know, rather than just suddenly jump in and say, just go do it. The way to shallow the gradient is actually to, a way to shallow the gradient is, first of all, to definitely make sure you speak to your upline or crossline and get yourself an accountability partner. I think that helps bridge the gap between sitting in the house not doing anything and actually getting out there and speaking to someone, and then plugging into some kind of system. The purge call would be an example, but whatever, you know, just something you're going to do every day. But most importantly, I think it's having an accountability partner. Like you were saying, you know, Thursday something really clicks with you when you're talking about things, like, you know, you and I talking over all the things that we're going through. I think it just helps your belief and your confidence and everything to make it that little bit easier to make that first call, that second call, and that third call. So I completely hear what you're saying, but I definitely think that having someone to work with who is caring and understanding, but also strong enough to push you a little bit,
yes,
I think is absolutely crucial. Would you agree with that, Cathy?
I would agree with that 100%. 100%. And I've actually got a lady on my team that she made RC and she's building her RC team. And she came to me and said that she wants to start participating a little bit more if we have a business presentation. I'm like, fantastic.
Right.
Fantastic. Yeah. And you know, I'm starting to and so she has been listening to the call Sunday night, and she picked up and she said, well, the accountability program. And I talk to her every 2 or 3 days. She's pretty active in it, but and she goes, well, you may need to call me. You know, call me during the week or whatever, and just make sure. I said, well, absolutely. Yeah. And it wasn't even anything
This is why I don't want people to over-recruit. I'm not saying if someone wants to look at the business, go out there and do it, but some people just go crazy and recruit, and they don't back up. They don't give the support that people need. They don't get the training that people need. And I'm not saying to hold back and not build your business. I'm just saying that recruit wisely. You know, it's better to bring 3 people in that work hard and work the business because you take care of them than it is to bring 20 people who get in and quit within a week because you can't help them. So I think it's really important, the whole accountability, with the attrition rate in Ambit, the number of people that quit our business, when all we do is gather a couple of customers and help other people do the same, is ridiculous. And the answer to that is a system and some accountability. And you've been very fortunate having, Darren McClure, and he's awesome as an accountability partner. And so I would urge everyone who's listening to this call, if you're struggling to get out there, if you're struggling to be disciplined, then put structure in place, a couple of calls a day, but then make sure you have an accountability partner, someone you work with, a friend, a colleague. It doesn't have to be your sponsor, it doesn't have to be an upline. Just someone who's waiting for your call at the end of the day. I think that's absolutely crucial. I think that's going to make it for you, Cathy.
I've got quite a few. I call it my nebula, because nebula is a star nursery. I've got quite a few that have just come on. I know I managed a doctor's office for a while and really slacked off for about 7 months, and just now getting back going. But I'm on every page. I'm on your page. I'm on. If anybody needs an accountability partner, just wants to be. I'll be willing to connect people. Any way I can help. I don't know everything right. I don't know all the answers, but I know how to find them now.
Well, here's what I would suggest then. Yeah, no, that's great. What I'm going to suggest then, for those listening in who don't have your number, Cathy, is reach out to Cathy on the recording on the EC Riders page. Facebook page, and if you want to, reach out to Cathy, then do so on there, and I'm sure Cathy will be in touch with you and just give you some pointers, because I think sometimes you need to hear from someone who's maybe not an MC or an MC, but someone who's still in the trenches, running and building a business and just been through their own pain. So if you guys want to reach out, like Cathy just made the offer, by all means reach out on, in fact you'll find her on Facebook anyway. What's your full name on Facebook, Cathy?
Catherine McElmurray Coward.
Okay, and so it's okay if they friend you, and obviously you can check that they're in Ambit. That's what I always do, is I try to make sure that they're in Ambit. So because there's lots of people who friend you, if you're not careful, you have all sorts of people on there. But reach out, and it's great to talk to someone like Cathy who's been through the good, the bad, and the ugly, and now is a strong senior in her business, heading towards executive consultant. So that's a very kind offer of you to do that, Cathy. That's awesome. But was there anything else we needed to talk about before we just briefly discuss what we're going to do on Sunday?
No, I just wanted to really thank you for pushing me outside my comfort zone, because, I would say he touched on, I just wasn't really in a good mood on Friday. It's been a very weird week for me. It's not my normal, not my normal mantra, the way I usually just kind of go through my day and be off along and talk to whoever I want to. But every day it got a little bit easier, and I want to thank you for that, because whatever it is that you're afraid of, just do it. Just do it. And then do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again until you're not afraid of it anymore, until it doesn't make you nervous anymore, until you realize that we have a gift. We're not trying to recruit consultants or customers. We're trying to share something. And for me, when I finally, it's like I knew this at some point before and lost it somewhere along the way, and getting back to that and realizing, look, I've just got something that I want to help people. Then my conversations got a little easier, and I didn't trip on myself and chase rabbits and like I normally do when I get nervous. So anyway, thank you. Sorry.
So go ahead. Of course, your experience is very, very welcome. Thank you for getting on the call and stuff. But if you are finding yourself nervous, get an accountability partner. Use the Thurs call as your structure. Make sure you get your invites written down on a piece of paper so that you don't wander all over the place or get nervous. But follow the 5 guidelines for how to create an invite. It's perfect. But Cathy, I'm going to get off the phone call right now. But tomorrow, Sunday, We're just going to kind of go through the week and just summarize what happened on the week, and then get you prepared for the following. We're going to purge your list. We're going to, those people who need to be put on the callback for 6 months, and we'll do that. Those who need to be plugged in, those who we're going to carry over next week, we'll do that all tomorrow, and we'll be good to go. So I appreciate you getting on the call tonight. Thanks very much.
Have a great evening. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Yeah, have a good night.